pirate cats. Yeah? No? Did you never hear of the pirate cats of Mayo? Well, there are pirate cats in Mayo, and I will prove it to you now. Look, I'll just show you my pictures. Some of the pictures that I took while I was down there. Now look at that. If you need any more proof that there are pirate cats, look no further. Now, I've got a story to tell you about how that line of pirate cats came to be. And if you'd like to stay with me and hear it, I'll tell you it right now, okay? It's called Fearless the Pirate Cat. Now, Wayne's the year was 1544. Now that was near 500 years before any of us were born. The night was nipping and the air was damp and the stormy winds howled out a warning to the O'Malley pirate clan, and that wind said, O'Malley, O'Malley, don't bother coming to the seashore tomorrow, for if you do, we'll blow your ships to smithereens. Now, the O'Malley pirate clan, we knew better than to go ignoring the wind when it spoke. So the big clan chief, Mida, he roared, call in the fleet, let every last ship rest in dry dock. And from that moment on, it rained for 21 whole days and left the seafarers landlocked. Now, wait till you hear this next bit, because it's very important. Now, about that time, down in boathouse number 9, the fishermen swear they could hear the banshee. For a strange sort of a whining sound was coming from inside the boathouse, and those terrified fishermen were on their knees saying, please, 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 mommy, please. But I can promise you that sound was no banshee, I promise. You see, those clever seafarers could talk to the weather, but none of them could speak the language of cats. That's not surprising, given that we all know one thing about the cats. It's a fact that cats hate water. Exactly. And sure, that's no use to a seafarer, is it? And if they had bothered to learn that feline talk, well, they'd have known that that meowing sound was only a mammy Mog announcing the birth of her daughter, Fearless, the pirate cat. Now, Fearless was a teensy-weensy wee furball. She was a tiny runt of the litter, but as soon as she was born, she sprang to her claws, and she stuck out her tiny jaw, and she squeaked out, shiver me tipper, meow. And from that moment on, I just loved that cheeky wee cat. Now, after 21 days, the sun finally showed, and it turned all that rain into steam, and Fearless was much bigger and stronger now because of all of her milk and sleep. And when we first set our eyes on that gorgeous sun-shining morning, me and Fearless were both whoosh, away with our kit bags, running down to the harbour for to board the ship and to raise a pirate cat flag. Now, Waynes, this next part's a wee bit sad, so I warn you, okay? Now, remember what I said, if we all know one thing about the cats, it's a fact that cats hate water. Or how would you know that when you're only 3 weeks old and you were raised in a boat shed by a seafarer's daughter? So Fearless ran, faster and faster, over the stones, shells and sand, to where she saw sea froth for the first time. But sure, how would you know what sea froth was when you're only 3 weeks old and you've never been out the door before? So poor Fearless saw the sea froth and she said, milk, milk, she squeaked, loads. She roared and she got wild excited, and she ran and she crouched and she jumped, but the minute she hit the water, she screeched like a banshee and landed 10 feet up in the nearest tree. Now, Waynes, let me tell you, this did not bode well for the young pirate cat. She was mortified for herself as she walked on back to the boat shed with her tail between her legs and an angry bird's nest caught in the fur atop her head. And though I tried and tried to teach her how to swim and how to do other seafaring things eventually, we just had to accept the fact that water wasn't really Fearless's thing, and off I had to go to sea without me pirate kitten. But sure, it was grand. For as our ship sailed out across the horizon, Fearless waved to us from the land, and I raised her pirate cat flag, and I promised to bring her back. And my daddy Owen, the big clan chief, he roared out something to her in the Latin language, but I said, but sure, Da, how would you know the Latin language when you're only 3 weeks old? So she told herself that what my daddy had said was, look after my cat.